And I would think that Eugenie Bouchard would really try to threaten Cibulkova on her serve.
Love 15.
Like Bouchard, who made it as high as 5th in the world last year, Cibulkova also hit the top 10 for a stretch last year. And again, 50th in the world currently. Bouchard checking in at number 25.
Slightly unorthodox service motion from Dominkia.
15.
Is that a product of being 5'3"?
I'm sure it is. I'm sure when you're 5'3", you're trying to do anything you can to make yourself taller on the serve. You also see a little bit of kinesio tape on her left Achilles heel, so I'm sure that's also a precautionary measure.
The Achilles injury had plagued her for a couple of years, just kind of off and on pain. And finally, it got to be so bad they went to the doctor and they said, look, you have a bone spur that you need to have shaved. So surgery there. Shaving skin is one thing. Shaving bone is another. And that kept her out for that 5-month stretch.
Yeah, well, anything to do with a tendon takes ages to heal. But if you have a bone spur and that's the cause of it, you don't have really too many options but to try and get rid of that bone spur somehow or other. It's lovely. She scuttles around. It's a pleasure to watch her. Such good footwork and hustling like that and then managing to practically half volley that shot.
You can see why that Achilles repaired is so important with that agility and mobility that is such a critical part of her game. 30-all. Second serve survival there for Cibulkova and game point.
And the ball's coming back so quickly to Bouchard that she's going to have to make adjustments herself. It's not necessarily coming back so quickly because it's thumped, as because Cibulkova hits it so early.
Rocket backhand from Bouchard. The response long, and we're at deuce.
And I'm sure that's what Bouchard feels she has to do, is just overpower Cibulkova. Just made that. That caught it a little fine. Cibulkova really fun to watch because she just goes for everything. Little dynamo.
Some power in that pocket rocket, and she holds to begin this match against Eugenie Bouchard.
That was a really good opening game. They both got to hit quite a few balls. They both hit the ball in the middle of the strings, hit some winners, and nothing to worry about. We've seen some of the matches where the players come out and it just takes them a while to get into the rhythm and the mood of the match. After waiting for 4 hours, that's a very good effort to be this sharp at the beginning.
4 career titles for Cibulkova, the last coming in Acapulco in 2014, also another one the year prior in Stanford in 2013. Bouchard to serve for the first time in the match.
So well played.
15.
Eugenie might have had to hit more balls than she wanted to in that rally because the ball kept coming back, but she stood her ground and finished with a very confident, safe volley. It's nice too. What I like about Bouchard is that she hits the ball as if her intention is to go forward. Not that she is necessarily going to go in behind it, but that is such a much better way of transferring your weight into the ball.
Talked about the 5'3" stature of Cibulkova at 5'10", a little more range and length to Bouchard.
14.
Seemed like more than 95. No, our monitor said 95, 103 mph. So that was the first second serve that Eugenie had to hit, and she hit it with a lot of kick, and it bounced up really high. And we've seen that high kicking second serve can cause a problem, but it didn't cause a problem for Dominkia. She's having to hit the ball like way up above her shoulder.
You want to look for an issue for Bouchard. First serve percentage this year has been a difficulty, under 60% of the season. That second serve Cibulkova can't handle, and a hold for Bouchard. Just underway on this Friday afternoon local time in New York City. Nice crowd packing into Armstrong Stadium for the second match in this court after the 4-hour marathon between Cilic, the defending men's singles champ, and Kukushkin, won by Cilic.
The day session is going to be running very late on the outside courts. Yeah, maybe not the best serve out wide on the second serve. I mean, Dominkia will have to see if that works or if she's always going to get that fantastic return from Bouchard. Might have to rethink it a bit.
15 all.
It's interesting, Virginia. She made the quarterfinals of the Australian, one of 3 quarterfinals this year, including last weekend against New Haven. When you have that much time off, 5 months,
Yeah.
what parts of the game do you think can slip away a little bit?
I think you get rusty if you have more than 3 weeks off.
And especially with an injury like an Achilles, when you really are going to be somewhat limited in what you can do.
Well, I mean, you know, winning tennis matches is very much about habit and knowing how to play the big points and getting used to thinking correctly on big points. When you've been away, you just sometimes forget how to do that. That might have been the easiest shot she had to hit in that rally. Got a little overexcited, but not getting enough first serves in, making it very difficult for herself.
Cibulkova played the final tune-up at New Haven, got a couple of wins in before losing to Lucy Safarova in the quarterfinals. Felt she was starting to get her game together, and then the upset of Ivanovic served notice that she's on her way back.
But Cibulkova is one of the people who always seems to play with a lot of joy. You know, she always looks like she's, I mean, she looks pretty serious, but she always looks like she's enjoying the contest.
40-30.
Still a very humid day, although I don't think it's as humid now as it was earlier this morning.
All the fans with their fans cooling themselves in the stands.
Yeah. Oh, she goes for that. Way in.
Didn't make it by much, but it did make it. That is 2-1 Cibulkova. Open. Jason Knapp and Virginia Wade with you in the afternoon here in New York City. Bouchard won the first 3 points in her first service game with the first serve. Hasn't gotten one in since.
15.
They're so different, aren't they? I mean, here's Eugenie Bouchard, tall, lean, you know, with a very compact swing, fairly rigid. That's an unkind word to use, but.
13.
Very precise and you know, not all just flexibility. And on the other side, she's got Cibulkova, who's like elastic and has slightly big, generous swings with her shots, and it's just sort of fun watching players with some contrast. Lovely shot. Impressive.
14.
And you're right, at times with her size and wingspan, it looks effortless.
Well, she manages to generate so much pace because she hits the ball early, but a nice compact swing. I mean, you slow the swing down a little bit and it looks bigger, but it's actually, as swings go, it is quite compact.
And a chase review coming from Cibulkova. One of 3 challenges for each player in each set.
Bouchard sort of plays a clinical game, and Cibulkova plays much more from the heart. Good tennis so far. I'm so happy to see Jeannie playing better again. I mean, After she got to the final of Wimbledon, and then she played last year in the Canadian Open, she was a shadow of herself in that match, and then it took her forever to pull herself back together.
And really, the first time in that 2014 season she burst onto the scene at the Australian, making the semifinal. She was eliminated by Li Na, who went on to the final and beat Dominkia Cibulkova.
Yeah, that's actually, I forgot that.
Cibulkova took out Suarez, Navarro, Sharapova, Halep, and Radvanska along the way to get to that final.
Yeah, I know she had just a brilliant tournament, and you might think that she would be better on a clay court with the way she produces her shots, and because she likes to run everything down, but basically her results are best on hard courts. It's a nice even bounce, so it allows her to hit the ball really early. Think of the player who is so coordinated and moves so well as Halep. And Halep also, I mean, she's taller than Cibulkova, but it's the same sort of game. Early preparation, just very much in rhythm with the bounce of the ball.
30-15.
That return of the forehand side from Bouchard is giving Cibulkova some trouble. Oh, she had the shot if she'd made it, Bouchard. Cibulkova will come into the net, but you have to hand it to her. And that was actually a pretty decent volley, but she was admiring her volley, and this ball nearly went in the court. Great effort from Bouchard.
What a winner from Bouchard.
It's certainly good to see somebody advancing on the ball like that. The ball just hitting it earlier and earlier, and watch her, well, you saw Bouchard's feet there, but coming forward into the court. Not a lot she could do with that.
Still game point here for Cibulkova.
Oh, great anticipation from Dominika. Pity she missed that shot.
So Bouchard paddling back in this game to get us to deuce.
Serious time off the court. Cibulkova is always smiling, always charming.
Got to believe she's got something to prove here in New York, not only after the injury layoff this year, but after losing in the opening rounds in each of the last 2 years here at the US Open.
That's the way to move your feet. Just watch this hustle to get around and hit a forehand. Look at those feet go. Beautiful. Yeah, I tell you, it weighs heavily on you if you've lost 2 opening rounds here. But that's in the past now. my goodness.
What a point. For the right to get to the round of 16 at the 2015 U.S. Open.
Seats, please. Thank you. Fifteen left.
Talked about injury issues for Cibulkova. Bouchard saying she's had an abdominal tear and played with it for a good chunk of the year, but felt like she didn't get proper prep for the other slams. This one felt like she was ready.
Well, a slightly sloppy shot right there at the end, but abdominal injuries are really hard to clear up. I mean, usually if you strain a calf muscle or something, you just rest it, get a lot of treatment on it, and it's okay, 100% in a couple of weeks. But an abdominal can really stay as a weakness.
And it's 1-2 for a tennis player I would figure would be difficult to kind of mentally get over.
Well, it affects your serve, so then you can't practice your serve.
You figure a leg injury slows your running. Arm injury with your racket, you know that you need to slow down. But that abdominal one just kind of feels, you know, like a ache and pain a little bit.
Yeah, no, it isn't a good one. I mean, I never know which is the worst one. If you have something wrong with the lower half of your body, you can't really exercise. If you've got something wrong with your arms, at least you can run and keep in shape that way. Just a couple of errors from Bouchard in this game. That last point of the previous game, you have to consider, might have just irritated her a little bit, and it could have upset her composure. Oh dear.
So some shaky forehands here for Bouchard, and the opportunity for our first break of the match.
Yeah, that's all about confidence, and if her confidence is low, as she's actually said it is, this is the stage it comes out.
There's the breakthrough for Cibulkova.
Great striking of the ball there, the super rally. It's not like Cibulkova's going to hit an outright winner, but she keeps hitting the ball back so early. Bouchard's got to try and eliminate from her mind the worry about those few errors in that game. So easy to start pressing when you get a slightly easier looking ball. Every other good shot has come back rapidly, and that one was an opportunity for Bouchard to have a go at. Even with anticipation, good anticipation, too hard a shot.
Guessed right, but not enough in the tank to get it back.
Well done from Eugenie. Possibly Cibulkova getting a tiny bit tight in this game and consequently hitting the ball a wee bit short.
That has not been the case throughout.
Oh dear.
And now Bouchard with 2 opportunities to break right back. And a double to end it. So Cibulkova earned a break and gifted it right back on serve again in the first. Hard to believe when you look at Bouchard, and she's played fairly well so far, that she has a losing record. 25th ranked player in the world. Came in 9-17 to this tournament. Add the 2 wins here, she's still well under 500 for the year.
Well, you lose your confidence and it's hard to regain it. This becomes an interesting game, having had 2 breaks in a row and a little mini intermission. Well, that's the first shot that Cibulkova's really been able to create a winner just by sheer pace. Normally she has to maneuver the ball around, hit a bunch of them, open the court up and then go for it. But that was just good pace from her. Oh, what a shot.
That first point on the second serve, you saw Cibulkova inching in on that baseline to try to capitalize. And again, Bouchard, first serve percentage, 56%. Again, we said it was a key to some of the struggles she's had this year with that first serve.
Cibulkova won't be pleased with those last 2 returns. You also can see when Eugenie serves that she really stretches up in the midriff, and if you've got any sort of abdominal problem. When her forehand is good, it is so impressive, but it can go off. As I said right at the beginning, she sort of throws her body at the forehand. Excellent shot.
Just a 71-mile-an-hour second serve, but good enough to get the job done. And Bouchard with the hole.
Really good shot, that last one. So some super play from both of them.
Love 15.
Little thigh slap after the tape kept it on her side of the net.
Let's.
You talked about the service motion of Bouchard before. What a great contrast to the one on the opposite end of the court in Cibulkova.
I have very unusual, idiosyncratic service action from Cibulkova. But when she gets the racket back in the back scratch position, it's pretty good.
Now the tape cost her a shot earlier in the game. Helped her out on that one.
40-15.
Good little sprint forward from Eugenie Bouchard. Nothing she could do with that.
The 26-year-old Dominkia Cibulkova with another service hold. It's 5-4 here in the first.
More winners and less unforced errors. Yeah, not happy with that. I mean, it was very close, but close is not good enough.
First double of the match for Eugenie Bouchard.
Little tension creeping into both arms, or the arms of both players. That's well played. Engineering her opening there. such an important point to get all hung up on. Just didn't know what to do with that. The ball was a slight mishit from Eugenie. It bounced up so high, and that was a little ambitious of Cibulkova.
Little indecision leads to the closeout opportunity of the game for Bouchard. Both players have had issues with the toss that end of the court. You see the wind blowing the hair of Bouchard a little bit.
Hardest thing about a serve is getting the ball in the right place to smack it. Oh, I think she was in two minds about where to hit that one. Cibulkova usually pretty decisive about her shot placement. Big hand for Eugenie Bouchard. You remember all the Eugenie army? I'm not sure if the Eugenie army is disbanded or not.
There's certainly two players that are easy to root for with the way they play. 5-all.
You have to chuckle, don't you? Because, I mean, that was not the easiest shot in the world in the end, because it was so close to the net, and you suddenly have to make up your mind in a hurry. But I think that she'd see that Eugenie was going over there and just pop it into the other side of the court.
There is no low gear for her. It seems it's all out all the time.
Lovely.
And that'll get the finger in the air. And a chase review coming up.
15.
Well, maybe not.
Now she's going to go with the opinion of the umpire. Inside the line.
Oh.
She would have looked like a genius if that had come off. I'm enjoying this match.
Forget the finesse, the power game working for Cibulkova.
She's only ranked 50 in the world now. She was at number 10 March last year. Second serve, 30 all. Oh, she's going to hate herself for that. The short balls have really stopped very quickly. The net courts have been virtually impossible for anybody to get to. She got to it because of a considerable speed, but couldn't control the ball when she got there. Cilic was playing on this court just before. He would have probably got there in 2 strides, and she has to take about 10 steps to run forward to the net.
Juice.
Excellent shot.
11 each in the winners category. And the miss from Bouchard gives Cibulkova the opportunity to hold.
Excellent shot from Bouchard, hitting it very early and down the line.
Too good.
Coming thick and fast off Cibulkova's racket. Just winning the winners' battle right now. Not by much, and more losers coming from Cibulkova.
Stretched out a little bit in the game, but Cibulkova hangs on. Bouchard needs to do the same to send us to a tiebreak. Well, we told you at the start of this one, this would be some intrigue, one of those matches as you get to the middle part of the tournament where there's no definitive favorite. It's the way it's played out. Cibulkova, 6-5 advantage on Bouchard, serving to stay in the set.
Just always on this court, you have to wait for people to sit down. Yeah, although the ranking is so disparate, you would actually rate these two as very close. 25 Bouchard is, and Domi is 50. Cibulkova's ranking will certainly go up after her efforts this week.
15.
Ooh, just didn't get that rhythm quite right on that shot. You have to commend Bouchard on not giving away too much when she plays. Win or lose shot, she still has pretty much the same expression. Wow.
15-13.
That was a real confidence-building shot from Cibulkova.
And these are the moments where the confidence of Eugenie Bouchard and her tumble this year has really been questioned.
You know she can't play carefully at this stage. She's got to be going for her shots.
Just long.
Well, she might as well challenge. She probably would like to know how far out it was, if it was out, and it was a little bit of a confused call, and the ball is not out.
Big moment, and now double set point for Cibulkova.
It's probably an argument with John Bloom about whether or not they replay that point.
And then he pulled it out. Well after, yeah, well after you.
I have to agree with him because it was a slightly late call and she'd already tried to handle that ball. And she's not arguing, she understands and she's taking it in her stride.
A gift from Cibulkova.
But you know, against Ivanovic on the Arthur Ashe Stadium in her first round, she had to hit one of those at such an important point and you were holding your breath, but she made it then, so why not now? It's a well-played point from Bouchard.
First real test of her resolve in the match, and she passes back-to-back points.
Yeah, Eugenie got a little lucky.
It's always part of the equation.
Yes. You get the ball back on the other side, your opponent might miss. Hard for Cibulkova not to get a little bit down after that miss.
That's long. That's 6-all. To the tiebreak we go.
Well, I don't know if that record means anything. Bouchard 5-5, Cibulkova 5-3. There's a little mini shift of momentum in Bouchard's favor here. Cibulkova hoping that Bouchard's forehand will break down under pressure, but it was hers that broke down.
And another miss from Cibulkova. You go back to that last game when there were a couple of set points for Cibulkova. 6 straight points now for Bouchard.
Oh, you can't blame her for going for her forehand because she's been hitting it very well just recently.
Fine time for that service winner from Bouchard. First ace of the match for either player.
Just beginning to feel that serve really well. She had a couple of good ones out wide to the forehand side.
Eighth unforced error of this opening set for Bouchard, 15 of them for Cibulkova against 14 winners. 13 winners for Bouchard. 3-1 in the tiebreak.
Oh, it's catching. You have to be so committed to the swing volley. And then it's a pretty comfortable shot, but if you get any doubt in your mind, so easy to miss it.
So some nervy spots in the last two games for both competitors. And a bad double for Bouchard. Cibulkova right back in the breaker.
Shot coming up with an ace and a double fault. Just to emphasize what you just said about some nervous shots coming in.
Talk about her keeping that even keel. You've seen the occasional small little fist pump. That's about it as far as emotion. It's certainly churning inside for a player try to regain her form in Grand Slams.
Well, they say that when she goes into press conferences, win or lose, she always goes in with her head held high. Always answers questions. So should Bouchard take some chances and go for some big ones here, or just play a little conservatively?
Chance to get more aggressive maybe on the second serve.
Oh dear. Golly, that first serve's just missing by next to nothing.
Cibulkova keeping the heat on, 5-4 advantage.
Keeping the ball on Eugenie's forehand. Trouble with playing Bouchard's forehand is that she does make a few more errors off it, but she also hits some great shots like that.
Set point, Cibulkova.
Brave point from Cibulkova, keeping going for it, but she's got to be able to do it on this shot as well, this point as well.
A little over an hour for this opening set. Will it finally come to a close?
Yeah, you just felt it, didn't you?
Well, the first one wasn't close, and that one wasn't either. Her second double of the set.
She must be so worried because here she's blown one set point, 15-40, with that swinging forehand volley, which she just missed by quite a bit, and then a very shaky serve.
Boy, Bouchard fortunate to get that one back and got away with it.
Oh my goodness. I mean, being aggressive but just missing it. The backhand volley just didn't happen for her. It was coming, the ball was coming at her so fast. So now, for the first time, Eugenie has a set point.
And it only takes one set point. We will get a chase review from Cibulkova.
Yeah, I think that one missed. She's been flirting with the lines with some of these aggressive shots of hers, and oh, I can't believe it.
Well, you saw the reaction from Bouchard when she challenged. I think she knew it was going to be it.
So does she get that point? I can't tell whether they're cheers or boos, or maybe they're booing Hawkeye or the overall. Well.
7-0.
So point to Cibulkova, and it's 7-all.
I don't understand the crowd. I'm not sure what they're doing. And then silence.
Cibulkova can feel it. Can she finish it?
Better take a couple of very deep breaths, settle herself down, and know exactly what she's trying to do with this serve. A little over anxious, it seems. Oh, I think she got the line.
She did. Some old-fashioned gunslinging here. This is a shootout in this tiebreak.
Wow, it's all happening now. Cibulkova's coaches sitting on the edge of their chairs, almost into the court.
Another set point, Cibulkova.
Whoa, how tough was that under pressure? Yeah, change ends.
Well, it had been close throughout, but the climax of this set has brought out the best in both.
To get the ball past Cibulkova, you have to hit a mighty good shot, and that was a mighty good shot, and it still came back. What a great volley. I've lost track of who's had how many set points.
There's been a bevy for Cibulkova, more than Bouchard. Question is, who will have the next one? We'll know momentarily. 9-all on the breaker.
Good read from Eugenie Bouchard.
Genie on the go.
I didn't think it was a stupid idea to hit the drop shot then, but I think she advertised it a little bit too much, and Eugenie got her skates on.
Her second set point. And Bouchard outlasts Cibulkova for the first set. Bouchard, a set up on Cibulkova. If you're Dominkia, you lose, tough one in the tiebreaker. You changing anything, or did your game plan work okay?
I think she stays with her game.
15.
But I actually think Eugenie will be a little more aggressive.
And she's talked about the confidence level, being aggressive, maybe too tentative at times throughout the year when she's had some subpar showings.
You know, everybody talks about being aggressive, but really what you want to try and do is dominate the point. So it doesn't mean just going for broke and taking chances. It means working it out and being forceful.
14.
That wide serve and the forehand side has really worked very well for her. I think she must have won most of those points, opening up the court nicely for her, and she has the ability to hit down the line just as well as she hits cross court.
Service game at love to start the second set for Eugenie Bouchard. You know, it's intriguing, Virginia, when you see a player get to the semis of 2 slams in a year and the final of another. That's certainly not a fluke, but then to watch that game seemingly evaporate in a year, 18 months time, at least that form of the game, it's somewhat baffling.
We've seen it so many times on the women's side with the #1s in the world who had won Grand Slams and then just couldn't keep it together for a while, but looks like she's back on track.
Again, still just 21 years of age.
I was thinking these first couple of points on Cibulkova's serve would be really a key to how it's going to develop. If Eugenie could open her shoulders and crack some, and successfully, you'd think that Cibulkova would have to be going on the downslope like that.
That was tagged down the line.
Not the fastest serve. She tends to go to the forehand. Well done. She tends to go to the forehand in the ad court.
Both players have struggled to execute successfully with the second serve, both well under 50% success rate when that's the case in the match. 30-15.
Well done. I mean, the impressive thing is not just the shot making, but that she's managing to keep her spirits up this high.
The double fault bugaboo flaring up again for Cibulkova. A trio of those here so far.
Well, I tell you, you have to be really stable to play against Cibulkova because she just never stops. I mean, they don't call her the pocket rocket for nothing, and she just keeps going and going, and you can understand how Ivanovic couldn't take the pressure. And Eugenie just as calm and cool as can be, or she seems to be.
You know, it's unfair to players like Bouchard, who, as we touch on, it looks effortless. But if you looked at a usage rate for Cibulkova, it looks like she's using every ounce of everything on every point.
I absolutely agree with you. Full tilt. But I have a feeling there's plenty left.
Yeah. She just plugs herself in at the changeover and charges up.
That's right. Oh, dear. Just when you think Bouchard is beginning to win her service games more comfortably, take the pressure off herself a little bit, she makes an unforced error off her better side. Second look at the line on that serve, but no question.
Bouchard in rhythm with the service game. 2-1 in the second.
That will be tomorrow in the third round.
Cibulkova, after having that Achilles surgery, spent a good chunk of that 5 months off the tour at home. Has to be so unusual for a player in mid-season, when you've played for as long as these talents have, to just be stopped in your tracks without the sport you love.
That's a good shot. It's sure, if an injury or sitting on the sidelines sure makes you want to get back and get everything in perspective, because you play tennis week after week after week, and it can get, you can get very jaded. This is becoming the big difference in this match. Cibulkova struggling a little bit with her serve, and Eugenie Bouchard's serving percentage going up dramatically at 89% in this second set as of now.
And now the door wide open for Bouchard. A handful of break points to work with. You know, this return to New York for Cibulkova, coming off the injury, but also motivation after the first round losses the last 2 years. 2 years ago, she fell to Svitolina, who was ranked in the top 50 of the world. But last year, devastating. Kiki Bellis, the teenager from the United States, 1,208th in the world. That's a kick in the teeth for a former Slam finalist.
What a thrill, though, for Kiki, that was. Cici. What?
Yeah, a Cici Bellis,
Yeah.
excuse me.
And that is the difference in this match. It's Cibulkova having to play absolutely at the perimeter of her ability, at the outside, at the absolute maximum all the time. And Eugenie Bouchard now sensing that she's got the luxury to take a few chances and relax just a touch.
USOpen.org, your online home for point-by-point live scoring, real-time stats, draws, exciting player features, and more, including official 2015 US Open merchandise. So off the break, Bouchard watching Cibulkova strike first in this game.
It's not like Jeannie can just relax and say, I've got her where I want her, because Cibulkova is not going to give up. Hardly missed her first serve in the set.
And she misses a pair. Her third double. 15-30. That was mashed.
Cibulkova refusing to be written off just yet.
Two break points for the Slovakia.
Clever serve.
Had some heat on it too. 104 miles per hour for Bouchard. Little extra oomph, and it's deuce.
That was a good point from Bouchard. She was having to deal with some hard balls, and she was so ready for them. So good recovery from 1540.
So Cibulkova, one more chance.
Yep. Another break point squandered.
Now, she's not about just putting it back. She is continuing to be aggressive.
Well, not that well. These are important break points because things are going downhill for Cibulkova. But going back to when she was 6-5 up, 1540. On Eugenie's serve, those were the ones in the forehand drive, forehand volley that she just got overexcited on.
Well, she gets another crack.
Wow, good serve.
4 break points saved in the game for Eugenie Bouchard.
One of her best serves. She's only had 2 aces in the match, but that was tantamount to an ace.
Pushed to the limit one more time in this game. Every time she seemingly had to be up against it in this game, in the match, she's found a way to deliver.
And
does it again.
So just in this game, 5 break points gone missing. First serve making a big difference. She misses her first serve. Eugenie's losing quite a few of the points. Well, that was a crack of a return.
This game approaching the 7-minute mark.
I think a slight lapse of concentration. No. A teaser of a second serve. A short but high kicker to the forehand side. Dominkia had to go for it.
Cibulkova a bit ticked. Bouchard now with a chance to finally put this game away and consolidate her break the game before. Not yet.
Well, that's tennis for you. You can play wonderful shots in a long game when you add down. So hard to put two together, though. Hasn't lost any speed on her footwork.
Now over 9 minutes for this 5th game of the second set.
6th deuce. Well, a magnificent series of forehands from Bouchard. Pity to end it like that. A little bit of confusion what to do with the ball at her feet. I mean, if Cibulkova could win this game, or this point, finally, she could tilt the balance of this match.
Seventh break point of the game for Cibulkova. On we go.
She went the other way for a change. Keep fighting, Domi.
Fight she will. The longer this goes, the larger this feels.
Oh, absolutely. Well, especially if Cibulkova wins it. Eugenie's going to feel a little weary after such a long service game.
Exceeding 11 minutes.
What is Dominkia going to do with this return?
And 8 is finally enough. 8 break points. Cibulkova finally cashes one in. Back on serve. Mikhail Kukushkin from Kazakhstan in 5 sets over 4 hours. And this one looks like it could exceed the 2-hour mark. We're at 1:40 already. Cibulkova at 2-3, serving in the second.
Well, if David Ferrer is scheduled on this court next against Jeremy Chardy. Well, I mean, Ferrer is not exactly what you would call a quick player, and his points are always long. And then it's Madison Keys and Radwanska. I mean, I hope they didn't come out here in too good time, because they will need to have several sleeps, several meals, unless they change the court that they're on. Very good point from Cibulkova. What happened there?
The swing from Bouchard in frustration sent one skyward, I believe, towards the crowd. .30 love.
Well, one of the things that happens, you know, when there's been a long game, taking, what did it take, 12 minutes or something, and she served so many points, and she loses this game. She really needs Eugenie to fight for a few points so she doesn't have to serve again quite so quickly. She's delayed it a little bit.
Now Cibulkova tightening up a touch. Cibulkova holds 3-all in the second.
A lot of credit to Cibulkova for hanging on to that previous game and holding her own pretty much okay. A couple of errors, but nothing to worry about. Oh my goodness, what a great effort. She's been struggling to win those points when the ball's serve is way out wide on her. So wide, that was the only place she had to go.
That high kick may have helped her out there. Able to thump it down the line and jump ahead.
Well, Eugenie does, when she gets her first serve and she wins most of the points, or 3/4. Not too good when she misses her first serve. Only less than 30%. 25% in this set. Big difference.
Been the same story for Cibulkova, who's got similar numbers on her second serve in the set.
Oh, that nearly was a clever shot. It's out.
Couple of great gets. And now Bouchard.
Not not happy because her cap fell off as she was playing that, and that can really throw you off.
Yeah, the visor was stuck on the back of her hair, and then a little visor slam.
Well,
15.
40. Well, the funny thing is, if the umpire had seen it drop, he would have replayed the point. So it didn't drop until after she missed the shot.
Would have dropped with short hair, but got tangled in that long braid in the back. 15-40.
Okay, second serve. Well, you saw the stat just before that in the tournament. She'd won 57%, I think it was, of the break points, and not done too well this time. Just 2 out of 13.
That one counts, and that vaults Cibulkova back in front. Winner on to the round of 16 here in New York.
You have to be impressed with Cibulkova. I mean, she had every reason to be a little despondent after losing that first set, after having being unsure, 5 set points, and being down a break. Here she's revived, looking energetic, sending a message across the net that she's still full of energy.
Actually, this feature match on Armstrong between Eugenie Bouchard and Dominkia Cibulkova went to a tiebreak in the first. And it was trending that way in the second till that last break from Cibulkova. Can she consolidate here and really put the heat on Bouchard in this set?
Well, just that attitude of Cibulkova, I think, is making Bouchard feel a little weary. Nearly 2 hours. Oh my goodness, what stunning play from Cibulkova. Couple of sizzling forehands. Cross court, opening the court up, and then not taking anything off that one. Excellent shot down the line.
Bouchard was on the run on the point and in this game. 30 love.
That's a Domi. She's trying to get a hat like Roger Federer with her name on it. Challenging, or did it come off the line? challenge. How many balls from Cibulkova's racket have been right on the line, and they take a little bit of a skid.
Too strong. Hold for Cibulkova, and it's 5-3.
Well, it was quite a clever idea that, but boy, fantastic run from Eugenie Bouchard. It's always when you make that much effort and get to the ball, it's a shame when you miss it. So 4 games in a row for Cibulkova. Who would have thought this a little while ago?
You go back to that game on the 8th break point. Cibulkova finally got it done. We talked about that as being a possible turning point. And since then, as Virginia mentioned, it's been all Dominkia domination.
Absolutely.
15.
Few wild ones. Doesn't sometimes quite get the top spin on the ball. In that game, there were 7 deuces.
Break for Bouchard. She'll take it.
I haven't seen too many chip returns from Domi, but fast as she is, ball just drops dead. Great pickup by Bouchard. Pretty good one by Dominika as well. Points to get back to 4-5, and that will put the pressure on Cibulkova on her service game.
That's the case. Cibulkova, though, with a chance to close the set on Eugenie Bouchard and send us to a third. Went to a tiebreak in the first set. Here in the second, Cibulkova has the chance to end it right now, serving at 5-4. Winner on to the round of 16 here in New York City.
Love 15.
Oh, a little bit lucky. That one slipped out. Cibulkova scared to go in and take that one in the air when she really should have.
Worked out okay. 15 all.
15-13.
You hate to see anybody suddenly get all tame when they try to close out a set. Oh, she saw Cibulkova going, anticipating correctly, took her eye off the ball. Cibulkova needs to play a better point here. She's hasn't played the best game, this one.
Boy, big spot here for Eugenie Bouchard.
Well, she's been making that shot time after time after time in this match. Tension of the moment.
Just the 5th break opportunity of the match for Bouchard. Bouchard took a crack at it. Couldn't keep it in.
They're both helping each other out. Okay, I just would like to see Cibulkova just play 2 really solid points, just because I'd like to see that, you know, from anybody. Nothing against Eugenie. Well, the serve, I think, was good. So that was a really big serve from Cibulkova, and she's got a reward.
Well, the ball at the net, allowing this set point for Cibulkova.
Eugenie's going to be all over this one.
She pounced on it.
Just have to be very decisive when it comes to these crunch times. You know you're going to get a little tense.
Lost in the first round in each of the last 2 years here in New York. Missed 5 months with an injury. Dominkia Cibulkova. Chance to send this one to a 3rd set. And she will. The survivor on to the round of 16. But will that player be Canadian or Slovakian? Bouchard took the first 7-6 in the tiebreak. Cibulkova thriving in set 2, 6-4. Bouchard begins the 3rd. And Cibulkova sending a little message, and she picks up right where she left off.
I think whoever gets off to a better start in this 3rd set could just go the whole distance. He's probably getting tired. I don't know how the umpires stay on the seat for so long.
John Blum from Australia still out there. Crowd still in it. And these two looking for a date in the round of 16.
15-30.
Boy, and that was almost a huge spot of trouble here for Bouchard.
Yeah, she did very well to win that point, I thought. When you're feeling a little tired and the momentum's gone against you, the last person you want to see on the other side of the net is somebody with the energy of Cibulkova.
And a revitalized player at that, pulling even.
Good shot.
Virginia, she seemed to have played better in this match when she's been up against it a little bit.
Well, but isn't that what one always sees, you know? It's one of the interesting things about tennis is everybody. It's a good shot. Just made it. Everybody, you know, just fights a little harder and opens up their shoulders and doesn't worry about the score when they're down. As soon as they get ahead, they worry about the score and they just think about that they're close to winning and they don't know how to do it. There's been a lot of balls of Dominika's racket that have landed right on the line. Serve.
You know, if you play her, you want to play her where Hawkeye's involved because it seems like every ball is right in that vicinity.
And this is one of the matches that I would actually quite like to see the tally at the end of where most of the balls land because it's really good length.
Yeah, that electronic line calling technology here at the US Open available on 5 courts now, including this one on Armstrong.
So here we go on with the break points. The 5'3" player has had 15 break points.
And she cashes in on the only one she needs to begin the 3rd set. Remember, she needed 8 of them in that critical game in the 2nd set, but she did eventually get the break.
But she was quite clever on that one. She took a chance on the 2nd serve, cheated a little bit over to the forehand side and was ready for it. Hits every ball with so much tenacity, so much purpose. Her focus is wonderful.
It looks like every ball is the last one she's ever going to hit.
But I can tell you, Jason, she's going to have her little moments of getting nervous in the set. Unless she can get to a really clean start.
Love 15.
That one a bit wild.
Yeah, she doesn't miss too many by that much. It really was wild. David Ferrer and Jeremy Chardy must have had to go back and rethink the start of their match, which was due on here. Is due on here.
I believe it's still scheduled to be on here. Again, talked about that before. 6 o'clock now local time. Play started at 11 o'clock this morning here on Armstrong and around the grounds. And this is still in the midst of the 2nd of 4 scheduled matches on this court.
I have to hand it to Eugenie from 30. Oh no, well, from losing that first game, she's come straight back in this game.
Teed up the 2-handed backhand. Triple break point.
I mean, not only did Eugenie hit a couple of really nice, clean shots here, but I thought that for once, Dominika, she lost her focus a tiny bit. Been a long time since she's hit a swing volley. Last time I can remember was the one she missed when she had her first of her set points in the opening set. Oh, that's not a good shot.
So Cibulkova wriggles out of trouble for the moment. Deep breath from Bouchard. Look at a dig deep. Get the break back. And she does. New balls coming up. Bouchard back on serve.
One little crack there from Cibulkova. Take an opportunity to have a wee rest.
Ball boy or ball girl in that corner may have been busy for the moment. Available spot, and after you've been out there for 2 hours and 15 minutes, take every little chance you can get. Cibulkova coming in to get a towel. Not quite sure if she went for a new racket or not. It's about right. Points close to being overall even. In a match that's even at a set apiece and a game apiece in the third.
15.
I would say it's very even at the moment. In fact, this match has been very even. It's like a seesaw, which is hardly ever tipped in one direction or the other. I have to say that, you know, Bouchard has seemed to have had to deal with a few more problems, and she's handled those well. Was that serve in?
It certainly looked close, and Bouchard finished it off.
Well, when I say she's handled the tough situations better, I mean, Cibulkova's the one who's had the opportunities, but I think every time Bouchard has actually managed to negotiate those, and really that's what it's all about, if you can survive the tough periods in a match.
49.
Yeah, and this is going to be hard now for Cibulkova. She had that break of serve. Now it means she's got to hold on to her serve, assuming Eugenie wins this game.
Nothing has been certain in this one.
No. Didn't look like such a tough shot, but maybe it just skid a little bit lower.
So after a couple of breaks, our first hold of serve in the third. Bouchard up 2-1. Champion and Hall of Famer Virginia Wade. Settle in. Over 2 hours of tennis so far, and it's been good.
59.
It certainly has been close and impossible to tell who's going to manage to come through this real trial. What a lot riding on this for both these players. What an opportunity for Cibulkova, having had such a bad year with injuries, being out with surgery and dropping her ranking dramatically. And also for Bouchard, a similar situation, just going from the heights to actually, not exactly the depths, but certainly a lot lower than she'd like to be. Just as you think somebody's going to crack a bit, they come back strong.
And the double for Cibulkova, you saw that physio tape on the left Achilles area. Again, Achilles issue for her, kept her out 5 months this year. Bone spur continued to plague her for the past couple of years. They finally had to shave it down to make it more manageable.
Second serves have not been a happy hunting ground for Cibulkova. Yeah, great stuff from Bouchard. She's certainly keeping a clean idea of what she's trying to do. You know, she's trying to hit aggressive shots. She's trying always to go forward. Same number of winners, but a lot more unforced errors from Cibulkova in the match. I'm not sure that was a clean image of what she was trying to do. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing a drop shot from Bouchard, but maybe not at 30-all at a very vital stage of the match.
I cannot remember a drop shot working for either player in this match.
Now, they both have excellent anticipation, and they both move well.
Cibulkova can't move well enough. Nobody can to get that one.
Yeah, it wasn't that the serve was slow, but it was short. Nothing like as humid a day, or maybe just because the temperature's gone down, as yesterday. Another second serve.
And she hasn't won a point on that second serve in this set. 0 for 4.
Oh, it was almost so short that Bouchard couldn't handle it. Yeah, that's irritating for her because she got the opportunity and the serve was, if it had been probably a yard longer, she would have nailed that. Just seems the way she serves Cibulkova that it takes a lot of effort because she goes all the way down and then has to raise all her body up, and she gets up pretty high.
Well, we talked about her stature, 5'3", and there's so much going on there in that serve.
And, you know, I have the feeling that she's having to think about her serve too much at the moment. So when a return comes so quickly, she's still worrying about her serve. Same thing, a big, heavy return right in the middle of the court, and you have to get your feet out of the way so quickly. Break point for a third game in a row.
Cibulkova hanging tough.
Once again, with a little help from Bouchard. Bouchard anticipating perfectly this shot and looked like she was absolutely set up to crack a cross-court passer. Nothing's going to be easy in this match.
Now a little frustration settling in. That may be from the previous point.
Well, no, I think that was particularly for that return because it wasn't, it was a sort of a slow serve, 89 miles an hour. It sat up just where she likes it. And what did she do with it? Calmer response on that return.
And two players that have been on large stages before. Both have been in Grand Slam finals, but both are trying to work their way deeper. Bouchard with inconsistency and a little bit of injury. Cibulkova with the big injury to the Achilles.
And then you get a perfect point like that, no drama. Very few quick games. But can she play 2 easy points in a row? Oh, it was a good forehand down the line from Bouchard. You would have expected that the percentage shot would have been cross-court on that, so she caught her by surprise. 5th deuce. Eugenie in command throughout that point until the last shot. The turning point in the second set came at 3-1 to Bouchard when she had 7 deuces and finally lost the game.
Doesn't want to lose this one and lose the lead in the set. Deuce again, another vital moment of the match.
Another mini battle within the war. Psychologically, these long games really make a difference.
So the seesaw in this game tilting back Cibulkova's way. She'd love to flip Bouchard off it. and send it to 2-2.
She certainly would. Was it in? Because if it was in, that was some shot.
It's good. Another deuce coming up.
The way she sets up for it, it just looks good all the way.
Not much to do about that. And another marathon game. 10+ minutes in this one.
Oh, it's 2 in a row. Well, in this long game, it's only the second break point she's had, but what a couple of crackers, those two forehands.
Bouchard with the break. And a couple of cracking shots from the Canadian, setting the stage for her to go up 3-1. On the go, download the US Open app for all the latest player news, stats, match highlights, celebrity sightings, and more. Available in the iTunes and Google Play stores.
Not that many breaks of serve in this whole match, but two in a row for Bouchard. That's good play. Going through a really good streak.
15.
Just dominating the shots, taking them early inside the baseline, but not being rushed.
After her third round win in 3 sets against Polona Herzog, Eugenie Bouchard talking about being able to keep the lead in the third was critical for her.
30.
And helping that confidence level. Same test is there for her now.
Cibulkova panicking a little bit. Got the line again. Suddenly streaks of winners from Bouchard.
An ace to finish the game. And after a cloudy 2015, some streaks of that 2014 brilliance from Eugenie Bouchard. Tiebreak won by the 25th seed Eugenie Bouchard in the first set. Dominkia Cibulkova battling back to take the second 6-4. And Bouchard with a couple of breaks of serve, 4-1 in the third.
That's a good shot. Although the score looks pretty dismal for Cibulkova, you can't ever counter out. And with this response from a really good shot from Bouchard.
13.
Yeah, and it's hard to believe at times when you look at Eugenie Bouchard when she's on her game that she came in here with a sub 500 record, 9-17 headed into the U.S. Open. The back-to-back wins the first 2 rounds, first consecutive wins since March. Only time she's won 3 in a row all year when she won 4 in a row, getting to the quarters at the Australian.
14.
Certainly the headlines that I read after she played her opening match were, is Eugenie Bouchard back? It most certainly seems like that. She's worked a little bit with Jimmy Connors. He's not here today. He said he'd be back in the second set. In the second week, sorry. Sets and weeks and days all run into one another.
40-15.
Sounds like something that Jimmy might say.
Yeah.
Celebrated his 65th birthday this week.
Cibulkova with an easy hold. And it's 4-2. If you could have a coach for tactics and tennis, there are plenty to choose from. If you needed a coach for confidence, he might be the guy that's at the top of the list.
Absolutely. I mean, definitely. Although everybody's different, it's what their inner doubts are. And so, you know, maybe he didn't have any inner doubts. And maybe Bouchard does or doesn't. I'm not sure. She's always seemed pretty confident.
15.
Oh, she made such an effort to run around that. I mean, if Bouchard keeps up this particular streak of good play, it's hers for the taking.
Cibulkova will.
I think she realizes it was in, but she'll have a look.
Called for the chase review. It is in. 30 love here for Eugenie Bouchard. 2 challenges left in the set for Cibulkova.
There hasn't been a single ace for Cibulkova in the match. 6 for Eugenie.
14.
It's always interesting, you're talking about that confidence factor for Bouchard. When you have a player that has that even-keeled demeanor, what's churning on the inside? Is it positive churn, negative churn?
Yeah,
all positive right now for Eugenie Bouchard.
You're right. I think she's pretty confident. I think she's definitely displayed that. But one thing you know is it's not going to be gifted to her. Lovely shot. Oh. Wow. Boy, did she handle that well, because this was a real big bullet from Cibulkova, and she just had to hang on to that ball, and how she managed to hit it so early and get it in, that was fantastic.
And a chase review coming from Bouchard.
John Plum was quite sure it was out. It certainly looked like it was out, but We'll have a third opinion.
Quite out indeed. And just a single challenge remaining for Bouchard here in the third. Strong serve, set that up.
So important for her to win this service game and put the pressure on Eugenie to serve out the match.
Armstrong pretty packed. Been a great day of tennis already. Marin Cilic, Mikhail Kukushkin on this court. Went 4 hours plus 5 sets. This one approaching 2:45 into the third set.
All right, saved.
Cibulkova doing all she can. Now it's on the racket of Bouchard for a trip to the round of 16.
Well, the way Bouchard has been winning her previous service games, or her latest service games, it should be fairly routine to win this one. But serving for the match is always a different story, and you've got to be exhausted now, so makes you feel a little different.
Love 15.
It was a good serve, too.
That was a better serve.
Such a help if you can just knuckle down and nail in a big one at a crucial stage. Three in a row, good serves. Impressive.
75% success rate on that first serve now. In the set, 65% in the match. 2 points away from the next round.
Yeah, she saw the opening, she went for it, missed it, and here we are.
Double match point for Eugenie Bouchard.
Bet Eugenie's praying to serve a huge first serve, maybe an ace.
That serve works, and Eugenie Bouchard on to the round of 16 here at the US Open for the second straight year. The struggles of the majority of 2015
might be in the rearview mirror.